تكره اليهود؟
طبعا.
هل تعلمت أي شيء عن المحرقة في المدرسة؟
محرقة؟ لا.
برأيك راح يكون سلام بين اليهود والعرب؟
طبعا لا، لأنهم اليهود من منذ سيدنا آدم هم يقتلوا الأنبياء ويقتلوا الرسل ويقتلوا الصحابة ويسبوا على الصحابة.
The United Nations Relief and Works Agency, also known as UNRWA, was originally established in 1949 to provide humanitarian aid to Palestinian refugees displaced by the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. However, over the decades, the agency has become embroiled in a deeply politicized, highly contentious environment, particularly with the rise of Hamas in Gaza. Evidence has surfaced suggesting that Hamas has not only co-opted the agency, but has actively used it as a tool to promote its own extremist ideology, influencing the education of Palestinian children and shaping an entire generation's genocidal worldview. UNRWA has been accused, and the evidence does demonstrate, that it has been completely infiltrated by Hamas, with numerous teachers and staff members being linked to the organization and who openly support its violent, genocidal agenda. One of the most disturbing facets of this infiltration is the way in which Hamas has used the agency's educational programs to instill hatred towards the Jews and towards the state of Israel. In schools run by Unrwa, textbooks and curricula gratuitously include content that demonizes Jews, glorifies martyrdom, and incites violence. Rather than promoting peace, tolerance, and coexistence, the Unrwa education system, under Hamas's influence, has contributed to a culture of radicalization, with children being taught to view Jews as enemies to be annihilated, and Israel as a state to be destroyed. Unrwa has repeatedly been accused of turning a blind eye to these abuses. Despite some attempts to reform, the agency has struggled to prevent the infiltration of extremist ideology in its institutions. Critics argue that this complicity, whether intentional or as a result of ineptitude, has allowed Hamas to use the agency as a vehicle for its propaganda, with the ultimate goal of fostering an entire generation of children who see violence as a legitimate means of achieving political ends, including the genocidal destruction of Israel and the elimination of the Jews. The impact of this influence cannot be understated. The teaching of hate in schools affects not only the children who are indoctrinated, but also the broader societal context. By perpetuating a narrative of victimhood and vengeance, Hamas ensures that Palestinian youth grow up with little hope for peace or reconciliation with Israel, and instead view their sole purpose as being a part of the violent struggle against the Jewish state. This toxic indoctrination fuels cycles of violence, making peace ever more elusive. The failure of UNRWA to address these issues seriously has led to increasing calls for reform and even calls for the agency's closure. Critics argue that by allowing itself to be used as a propaganda tool for Hamas, UNRWA is not fulfilling its mandate to provide humanitarian assistance and support, but rather contributing to the ongoing conflict and undermining efforts toward a peace resolution. While the humanitarian needs of Palestinian refugees are real, the agency's complicity in fostering hatred and extremism calls into question its ability to carry out its mission in any meaningful way. Until these issues are addressed, UNRWA risks continuing to be a tool for radicalization rather than a force for peace. In the following video, you will hear from UNRWA student, 14-year-old Bashar BALA-ISHA, as he explains what UNRWA has taught him and what he has planned for Israel and for the Jews.
Bashar ما يرضى ليش
ايش المدرسة اللي بتروح عليها؟
مدرسة ذكور الجلزون الأساسية.
تعلم عن المدرسة عن حق العودة؟
إنه لازم كانوا يعلمونا بالمدرسة عن حق العودة، إنه لازم إن نعود، وحتى لو أعطونا مصاري لإسرائيل، حتى لو أعطونا مصاري لازم نعود.
هل كان الهجوم على إسرائيل في 7 أكتوبر والحرب اللي بعديها مرتبط بحق العودة؟
إنه الهجوم اللي كان 7 أكتوبر مرتبط لأنه رجع لنا أراضينا في 7 أكتوبر، وبعدين في 7 أكتوبر وأخذوهم الاحتلال.
تكره اليهود؟
طبعا.
هل تعلمت أي شيء عن المحرقة في المدرسة؟
محرقة؟ لا.
رأيك في رح يكون سلام بين اليهود والعرب؟
طبعا لا، لأنهم اليهود من منذ سيدنا آدم هم يقتلوا الأنبياء ويقتلوا الرسل ويقتلوا الصحابة ويسبوا على الصحابة وبيحتلوا وبيسووا مجازر.
شو اللي بتستمتع بمشاهدته على تلفونك؟
المقاومة، هم يقاتلوا، والاقتحامات، وكيف المقاومة بتصد على الاقتحامات.
سوي عشان خلاص
إن شاء الله أطلع شهيد أو مقاوم.
هل الشهداء أبطال وفي لك صور إلهم؟
شهداء طبعا أبطال، وفي ملا عندي صور بالتليفون وحافظ التليفون والمعرض التليفون.